Hello everyone, this is Awesome Reviewer 308 here, bringing you guys a buying guide. This is a big topic, so I'm going to try and cover as much as I can. If I do not cover enough, leave a comment in the comments section saying what I've missed, and if I have enough, I will do a second one. I'm hoping I can cover everything today. So, this is my phone that I use. This is an iPhone 4 with OtterBox Defender for iPhone 4 and 4S. iPhone currently runs on iOS. I think it's 6.1.3. That's what I have on it right now. I'm sure there's more and better updates, but I didn't update them yet. So is iOS. My dad has Android, and so does my grandpa. Android is a bit different than iOS in the sense that it is not as easy to use. There's two main stores, app stores. There's Google Play, and there's also just a standard Google App Store, which is the Android App Store, which are, so some of them don't work with a certain phone, or some of them do, so you have to kind of pick and choose with which one you want to use. And Android just has a harder to use interface in order to use the device and use the device properly and use it efficiently without having a whole amount of problems. Touch screens are a bit different than keys in the way that there's more. It gives it gives you more. What's the word? It just gives you more ways to kind of do things faster, but it also gives you more ways to mess things up and touching things that shouldn't be touched, like in the settings bar or anything like that. With iOS, it's pretty simple to use in that you'll have one app store, which is the App Store, and one music store, which is the iTunes App Store. Not everyone, but a lot of people have iPhones. More adults, not only kids, but kids do too. One thing I like about iPhone and iOS is also because I have an iPod, iPhone, and an iPad. But another reason I got into Apple instead of Android is I heard a lot of rumors about Samsung Android, which is the operating system, and other devices that ran Android being a bit hard to use. Battery wasn't great. Like, my dad had to sometimes charge it twice a day, which is terrible because he doesn't use it a ton. He does use it a lot, but not a ton. And also that it was just Samsung partnered with Android was still trying to work out a couple of things. So I got into iOS, and it was a great decision, even though Samsung are a bit cheaper than Apple. But Apple also offers a different type of service. They have more stores, like you have Apple Store, iWorld, and every place has if they're an Apple authorized dealer, such as a Source, Walmart, any places like that have Apple devices, which it's different with Samsung, because you go to Walmart, the Source, places like that, they don't always have the Samsung devices that you want. And it's a bit different than Apple, and I haven't really dealt with Samsung really in the past, so I'm not quite sure on their warranties and call help. Not quite sure about that, but that's something I would like to look into, and I'll tell you guys that later on and see how that goes. And also with Apple is a thing called iCloud. iCloud means that you can sync anything that's on your iPhone, iPad, iPod, or iMac, or Apple TV, anything like that. You can sync them all with your other devices using iCloud. So if it gets lost, or whatever the case may be, even contacts or messages, it's all saved onto iCloud. So as soon as you go to a different device, it'll pick up what was on your iPad or any other device, iPhone, iPod, or iMac. It picks it all up and takes it to each other device. So in my case, I have an iPod, iPhone, and iPad. So it takes everything from all those three devices and takes them to all other three devices using iCloud. I don't know if Samsung has that or not, because Samsung usually I think it just has phones, mainly just phones and computers. Computers, I don't think you could really get a whole lot as far as that type of compatibility with your phone. And Samsung isn't a huge leader in tablets, really. They are, but not many people have Samsung tablets. More iPads and Lenovo pads and things like that. So it's a bit of a problem there. And also, lots of people have Apple cords. For Samsung, it's micro SIM. For Apple, it's just their own standard 30-pin dock connector for anything below the iPhone 5. For the iPhone 5 is a new Lightning port connector. So that's a bit of a change there, not too much. But with Samsung, it's micro SIM. I think they're getting into nano SIM, but I'm not 100% sure. So don't quote me on that. And not a whole ton of people in my experience have had micro SIM adapters for micro SIM. Because micro SIMs, there's a bunch of different types of micro SIM. So someone who has a Samsung phone may not have the same adapter for either Samsung phone was made before or after the one that you have. So if you go somewhere or you have family or whatever and you maybe lose a cord, don't bring it, whatever, chances are they're going to have an Apple cord. Chances are not highly that they're going to have a Samsung micro SIM cord. That being said, I don't mind Samsung. They're a good company. They've kind of built their name on good quality electronics. With Apple, it's just mainly just iPhone, iPad, iMac, and an iPod. And there's also Apple TV and a couple of things like that, but mainly just consumer electronics and some electronics for bigger companies, like they have the new Apple iMac something or other. It's like $3,000. It's pretty good, actually. It's nice. But Apple is also more expensive than Samsung. I'm not 100% sure why. In my experience, Apple is more expensive. I'm thinking probably it's because they have better advertising, better programmers, better builders, better everything together because it's a bigger company. So that's probably why they're more expensive. They're not hugely expensive, but they are more expensive. Like an iPod, standard iPod, when you bought between $180 to $200 depending on sale. iMac, $800, $800. An iPhone, on your carrier free, or in my case it was $68 to pay off my tab on Kudo. So it's not a huge expensive. I haven't really looked into Samsung really that much, but they're definitely cheaper. They're probably not as well built, but they are well built. And one of the last things I'm going to cover in this video is cases. Pretty much every person who has a phone, a smartphone in particular, is going to want a case, because if the screen gets scratched, it's less sensitive to your touch, and that means it's going to slowly get less and less sensitive. You're going to have to click it 2 or 3 times to press and get everything going. So you want a case. Apple has hundreds of times more cases around than Samsung. You go to somewhere and there's 10 OtterBox iPhone cases and 1 Samsung. On the sale rack, 10 iPhone cases, 1 or maybe none Samsung cases. And there's so many Samsung phones, it's probably not going to be the one that's going to fit yours. Probably just a Samsung Galaxy S1, S2, S3, and S4. So that's another thing to consider. A case, cheaper case, better case, more widely available to find case. That's another thing you gotta consider when buying a smartphone. Also, fixing, and if it breaks, we're gonna fix it. Apple has a lot of authorized retailers that do send it to them, or they can fix it themselves, depending on which one it is. Samsung, I haven't really seen many of those, so take it to somewhere they're going to fix the Apple device, and they're probably not going to fix the Samsung device the same way. Or it might cost more, or you may have to go farther from your home to fix it. And that same goes for buying too. There's more places that sell Apple than Samsung. So it's just kind of what you want to do. I would suggest Apple to a lot of different type of people, Samsung to other different types of people who I would not suggest Apple to, and vice versa. So you have to make a call judgment on price, fixing capabilities, accessory capabilities and prices, warranties, and where to buy, and also yes, the price and a couple other things. That's mainly a couple of things you have to look at when you're buying a smartphone. They're probably gonna match you up with the best device for what you want to spend, and a bunch of other different types of array items. If it's a Apple authorized dealer or a Samsung authorized dealer, such as Mobile Shop, malls, London Drugs, Source, places like that are going to match you up with the best. If there is not authorized dealer, they're going to match you up with something that probably may not work for you, and that's going to be your fault for not going to the right place. So I'm not favoritising between Apple and Samsung, just kind of what you guys want to use as your device, because you guys have to live with the device. They don't really care if you choose or not, but you have to live with the device for whatever your contract is. So you guys have to make a detailed call judgment on what kind of a phone you guys want to buy if you're getting into buying a smartphone. That wraps it up for today. Thank you guys and have a wonderful day. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. Thank you.